Voting on the Inner Harbor Desalination Plant has been delayed by 30 days. The Port of Brownsville is in the running for a multi-billion-dollar shipyard, and the Nature Conservancy Texas is teaming up with one of the most popular programs on PBS. This is South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday, April 16th. The proposed Inner Harbor Desalination Plant is being delayed by 30 days due to a staff change within the contractor the city had hired for far-field modeling throughout the Corpus Christi Bay system.
Company that City Council approved a contract for, Spheros, had a lead modeler, Jordan Ferdinand, who's familiar with the Bay system and has done several studies here before. Unfortunately, we were informed that he's no longer with the company.
That was Corpus Christi City Manager Peter Zanoni speaking with 3 News Wednesday. The consulting firm has requested an additional 30 days to complete the study on the nearly billion-dollar project. City Council had been expected to vote on the project in about 2 weeks. The change also led to a cancellation of this week's Far-Field Advisory Committee meeting. A draft is expected to go before the advisory group late next month, with the full report expected to be presented to City Council in early June. On the topic of water, the city held its weekly water update this morning at Council Chambers. We'll have an update for you tomorrow on Morning Edition and South Texas Midday. The Rio Grande Valley Business Journal reports that Saronic Technologies is engaging with leaders in California as it narrows its search for a site to build a multi-billion-dollar shipyard. The Austin-based company met with economic development officials, workforce partners, and state leaders in Solano County, California to discuss a potential location for its proposed Port Alpha shipyard. According to reporting by the San Francisco Business Times, the project could represent an investment of more than $3 billion and create about 10,000 jobs. Saronic said in a statement to the Business Times that its nationwide site search remains active and ongoing. In Texas, Saronic has identified the Port of Brownsville as a potential site and has already filed economic incentive applications tied to a proposed $3.2 billion project. Last month, the Point Isabel Independent School District approved a $228 million property tax relief agreement for the project. Cameron County officials said they were continuing negotiations with the company after delaying a scheduled vote for economic incentives last month. Cameron County Judge Eddie Trevino Jr. previously told the Rio Grande Valley Business Journal that the company requested the delay as discussions move forward. The Rio Grande Valley Business Journal is in partnership with KEDT. Effects of drought conditions no doubt have taken their toll on Texas resources, including its grasslands and freshwater sources. To raise awareness, the Nature Conservancy, or TNC, collaborated with Chet Garner, host of PBS's The Daytripper, to create a 3-episode series, Daytripping with TNC Texas, about the value of statewide landscapes. The series, underwritten by HEB, spotlights several places TNC has protected in Texas, underscoring why freshwater and grassland conservation are critical for the future of the state.
We got a chance to talk about some of the challenges facing things from West Texas to East Texas, and then also helped with one of the episodes that spoke specifically on West Texas and some of the springs, which are really a microcosm of the decisions that we're making and how the effects are seen right there at the spring outflow.
That was Ryan Smith, Director of Water and Science for the Nature Conservancy. You can watch the latest episode of Daytripping with TNC Texas tonight at 7:30 p.m. on KEDT TV. The third and final episode will air on April 23rd. When you look back at history, you realize that drama surrounding water resources isn't anything new in Texas. Angelo State University Associate Professor Dr. Kenna Archer will be a guest speaker tonight at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi for the Historical Forum When the Well Goes Dry, a history of water feast, water famine, and hydrological development. The talk will highlight topics like water development trends in Texas dating back to the 1820s and the history of southwestern and western rivers. The discussion will also look to visual signs of water famine and the impact of navigation and shipping on water infrastructure in Corpus Christi and Texas.
There are all sorts of connections you can draw that help explain what's going on. Perhaps the most obvious is that for much of its history, navigation and shipping and deep water was the goal in Texas, and it was the goal in Corpus Christi because, of course, Corpus is a coastal town.
The forum comes at a time when over 95% of Texas is under at least abnormally dry conditions. 100% of South Texas is in either severe, extreme, or exceptional drought conditions, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. Archer's presentation, When the Well Goes Dry, will be at 6 p.m. tonight at the University Center Legacy Hall. It's free and open to the public. And state news, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is saying that there is no such thing as separation of church and state in the Constitution. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider reports Patrick issued the statement in his role as chair of President Trump's Religious Liberty Commission.
Patrick issued the statement this week, adding, "For too long, the anti-God left has used this phrase to suppress people of religion in our country. Sam Martin teaches political communication at Boise State University.
What I think Patrick is doing and what this commission seems to be heading toward is attacking the very fundamental idea that government should remain, let's say, institutionally separate from religion. And that is a hallmark of Christian nationalist practice.
Patrick says the commission will deliver its recommendations to Trump on how to safeguard Americans' religious liberty next month. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
Texas data centers are shrouding their water use in secrecy, and researchers say that's a problem the state can no longer afford. A new report from the Houston Advanced Research Center, or HARC, finds that data centers already consume an estimated 25 billion gallons of water a year in Texas, yet the state requires little public disclosure of how much water or electricity these facilities actually use. Dr. Aaron Kinney of HARC, the agency that filed the report, tells Texas Public Radio fixing that will require cooperation at every level.
It's really going to take leveraging infrastructure investment and public-private solutions, and that collaboration cannot happen without transparency and continuous improvements on research and the models as we go forward.
Texas lawmakers are now being urged to require detailed public reporting before another drop of water disappears off the books. The Baylor Scott and White Health Plan will stop offering Medicaid and marketplace insurance plans this year. KERA's Dylan Duke reports the change will affect almost 250,000 Texans.
The Dallas-based health plan will stop providing Medicaid coverage at the end of August. That will kick about 120,000 people off the low-income insurance plan. Another 100,000 people will be affected when the health plan stops offering marketplace coverage under the Affordable Care Act at the end of the year. A spokesperson for the Baylor Scott and White Health Plan said 321 jobs will be affected across Texas. It wasn't clear if that includes layoffs or reassignments. The spokesperson also said the Baylor Scott and White system will still accept Medicaid and marketplace insurance at hospitals and other healthcare locations. I'm Dylan Duke in Dallas.
And in sports, congratulations to the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, or UTRGV, women's golf team. The Vaqueros captured the Southland Conference Championship on Wednesday in San Marcos. This is the third conference title this academic year for UTRGV, with the volleyball and women's track and field programs capturing championships this year. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.